Welcome back. With me on set today, I have Ms. Oku Uchechi Precious
Yes, sir.
and Dr. Ede Edo Usage.
Thank you so much.
You're both welcome.
Thank you very much, Pastor.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about eating right, a healthy solution. That's so powerful. You know, there's this statement that we say a lot, and we hear people talk about that quite often. You are what you eat.
Of course.
You are what you eat. So if we are what we eat, it means we have to pay attention to what we really do eat. Okay, so talk to us.
Okay. So, healthy eating. First of all, let me start by defining it. A healthy diet or eating healthy is eating, I like to call it eating with intent.
Oh.
I like to call it eating with intent. And that intention is to prevent malnutrition in all its forms and also to prevent diseases, especially non-communicable diseases. Now, malnutrition in all its forms, there are of three forms. They have overnutrition, undernutrition, and then you have hidden hunger. That's like micronutrient deficiency. Yes. So there are like few steps you can check yourself with to know if you're actually eating well as a healthy solution in order to prevent any form of malnutrition or to prevent any diseases.
You know, there's something you stated earlier, and I think that really struck me. You said eating with intent.
Yes.
So
Intentional eating.
intentional eating.
Yes.
So you don't just pick anything and you just grab anything and eat. It's important to actually plan or,
Yes.
you know, and be careful. When I mean
About
careful
what
now,
you're eating.
careful to select what you want to eat, knowing what you are doing.
Pastor sir, to eat with intent, you have to be informed
Yes, of course.
because you can't eat what you don't know about. There's several choices out there, so I think you want to let us know more.
Yes, that is what I'm about to do, to give you some steps, because when I mention eating with intent, some people will be like, that can put some kind of strain or stress on some people and be like, what exactly am I supposed to eat? What should I not eat and everything? So I'm here to give you like some steps to check yourself. You can do the assessment on yourself and know, am I actually eating right or not? So,
I would like to see this. Wow.
So if we can take a look at the board, what I want to spell out now is the diet quality index. That's what we call it in nutrition.
All right.
And it consists of 4 characteristics. The first is adequacy. The second is moderation. The third is overall balance. And then the fourth is variety. Now, these are characteristics or steps you can check yourself with to know if you're actually eating well or if you're eating with intent. Now, I'm going to start with explaining variety because this is what's going to help me to further explain the remaining 3. For variety, we're very used to the 6 classes of food, like we all know from our primary school days and all that. They tell you the 6 classes of food are carbohydrates, protein, fat and oil, and the rest of it. But now, that brought a lot of confusion because some people don't really know the foods that contain carbohydrates. They don't know the foods that they think they know, but they actually don't know. You understand? For example, your rice and your beans. They say, okay, beans is proteinous, and then your rice is more of carbohydrates. But rice also has a high amount of protein also.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And there are regular staple diets in this part of the world.
Yes. So to make things easier, nutritionists and dietitians all over the world, they came up with what you call food groups.
Food groups.
Yes. Food groups. So these food groups, they were systematically coined to make healthy eating, making healthier choices easier. They categorize them into 7 groups, and these 7 groups, each of the food in a particular group, they all have the same nutritional benefits.
Oh.
So the only job for you to do there is to make sure that in a day you go around these food groups. You eat at least 1 food from each of these food groups. So if you are having that target every day, then you're rest assured that you are actually eating right. You're getting all the nutrients that you need to get.
So these 7 food groups, I'm sure we have like a chart or something that displays all of this.
Yes, there is, but I'm going to list them out. That would be better.
That's excellent.
Yes.
Why I'm saying that is you can actually go to any of our social media handles.
Yes.
Each of our episodes, we do place on our social media handles charts, you know, and descriptive and visual aids that will help you to see exactly what we're talking about. All right?
Okay. So these food groups now, the first, we have the milk and milk products.
Okay.
The second, we have the fish, poultry product, meat, fish, and poultry products. The third, we have the legumes. The fourth, we have the starchy fruits, roots, and tubers. For the fifth, we have the cereals and grains. The sixth, we have nuts, fats, and oils. And then for the seventh, we have our fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
Yes. So if you are able to go round these 7, like a question that most people usually ask, they're like, how will I have the money to eat from these 7 food groups? I get that a lot. But the thing is, they made it in such a way that in each of these food groups, you have the high-end ones, the more expensive ones, and then you have the cheaper alternatives.
Oh, really?
For example, if you come to the meat, fish, and poultry group, you have turkey, you have chicken. Some people cannot really afford that, but inside.
We call also the dairy products.
No, it's not under the dairy. That is different. Oh. Yes, that's for milk and milk products. Oh, okay. That's a different group actually. So for this meat, fish, and poultry, you have the high-end products, the high-end ones, and then you have the cheaper alternatives. Chicken, turkey, and the rest, they fall under maybe the expensive ones. But they have cheaper alternatives like crayfish. They have edible insects and all that. So it's the knowledge of what you're supposed to eat actually. The knowledge of it, and then you just apply it. Eating healthy should not be a drag or a strain. It's just for you to know what it entails and then apply it to your daily diet. So that's for variety.
Can I come in now? Yes. You talked about chicken, crayfish. You know, putting crayfish on the food, it's as though there's nothing there. You want to see something, a substance on top of the food, like the chicken, the meat. Is crayfish adequate?
Of course it is. It is. Because not everybody can afford meat. If you really go into, do a survey, go into people's homes, leave aside what people say outside. When you go into, if you do surveys, I've been opportune to be on some surveys where we do dietary intake, take diet history from people, and you'll be surprised that somebody will tell you that they don't take meat until once a week. If you go to some interior places. So these are the people that you really need to meet with this nutrition knowledge, so they know, because sometimes in their mind they feel like, oh, it's only when they go out and take ice cream or something, that's when they are eating well. Okay,
great. Yes. But protein is needed for the repair of worn tissues and all that, and you need some adequacy, and also the calorie content or whatever it is, the protein content in it, the nutrients you want in it, the amino acids. Can you compare that in crayfish to what you have in chicken, the white meat, and what you have in the red meat?
Most times what you take as in chicken and all that, it might even be excess. Okay. It might even be excess of what you actually need. Yes, exactly. Awesome. Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go on.
The next is let me now start with adequacy. Now, by the time you have a variety, you eat a variety of diets, all these will be easy for you to meet up. For example, adequacy. This tries to explain you being able to meet up with your recommended daily allowance, just like Dr. Ide just said. Meet up with your recommended daily allowance for specific nutrients, like your calcium, phosphorus, zinc, iron, and the rest of them. I remember I told you that these foods in the food groups, they are grouped according to their similar nutritional benefits. So by the time you have one of each, you are basically having everything nutrient that you need. So you will be able to meet up with your adequacy. And then moderation. The reason this moderation is here is because there are some foods that we clearly do not need in excess amounts. For example, your saturated fats, your sodium, cholesterol, and your empty calories. What I mean by empty calories, your junk and the rest of it. Those junks are like refined foods. They only give you energy for a very short period of time, say an hour.
Like the meat pie, the egg rolls.
Later, you still want to eat something else that will sustain you. So those ones should be taken in moderation. you should be taking in moderation. And then your overall balance. Now, this overall balance now, it takes into consideration your macronutrients. This one is taken into for your micronutrients, like this zinc, iron, and the smaller nutrients. While this one is talking about your macronutrients,
yeah.
the balance between them. The carbohydrate, the ratio of your carbohydrate to your protein and to your fat. Exactly. But more importantly, your inputs, what you take in, should be equal to your output.
This is so interesting,
Yes.
and we're going to be hearing more of this